Welcome back, my fellow knights. This is your King Willick speaking, and I had a thought. Let me just change up a few things here. Okay, just wanted to get things off my chest. I have been streaming on Twitch for quite some time, and I feel like people that I have subbed to me on YouTube uh, don't exactly know where that channel is, and I have 37 followers, which isn't so bad. But it could have been a lot more better as I went along, but it's nothing to complain about. However, I was thinking, do I really need to switch from Twitch to YouTube? I've been giving it a lot of thought, and I haven't entirely made up my mind yet, though I am thinking about it. Though with the kind of games that I am bringing in these days are kind of hard to keep it PG, so keep in mind, I can't exactly put it in, what is it? Adult restricted. In fact, it goes without saying kids use, uh, other people's YouTube channels to watch other things like, Markiplier or whatnot. And to me, that's kind of frustrating because I can't tell who's underage and who's not. And that's frustrating to me because I can't play the games I want to play to get my content out there. Now, there are things that I would like to post or stream, or keep in mind, this is something on my, library that I want to play an open, broadcast. So it's kind of hard for me to do that whenever there's like so many others out there, possibly underage, and I'm not so sure if they are or not, and do not understand the idea of ratings. So it's like I can't judge on personal age. I can't judge on the benefits of it all. It's just, it's very complicated. I'm living in a hard time as it is, trying to plan everything out, trying to keep a schedule, trying to please all 230 subs in 1 year, and I'm trying to come up with an idea of what kind of resolution I want for next year, and it's even getting harder to do that. And I'm not even sure if I even followed my resolution this year. In fact, I can't even remember what it was. So if somebody can remind me very quickly, please do so very carefully. Because I don't know who would all be watching. But regardless of any case, it's like I have to be very mindful of what I do, what I say, and what I talk about, because it's like it's very, very frustrating. It gets to a point where it's like somebody out there may have a short fuse about something or have a different opinion about something, and they just don't want to, watch about it anymore. It's like very complicated. And I'm not saying that it's going to be harder on you or harder on me. It's hard all around. I mean, it's to a point where it's like I'm trying to focus on many things, and my mind keeps getting blown over the fact of how many ideas I can come up in the day, or how many strategies I can break out in the game, or something like that. And it's like I'm not getting a very good response to whenever it comes to playing on Twitch. I'm not getting a good response whenever it comes to uploading. It's like everything I do, okay, is a bit time consuming to a point where it's like you have to wait for a response. And it's like I've created content for a video game that I've, completed over 2 or 3 years ago. And I'm still getting comments about that. And I'm getting told thanks by so many of you who have uh, fought through DMO for quite a bit and trying to get things finished up. And even for me, it's getting harder to even do that anymore because the game's changed. Okay? The game has changed so much that the update took its toll on me. And I'm trying to figure out what the difference is between 1 year's worth of gameplay to another year's worth, because you don't know what could change over the years. Um, and I've been seeing comments on Facebook about people hating on Game King, even still today, and it's like, okay, first off, do not ask to bring back Joymax. Joymax did nothing for us. It is because of Game King we have what we got today. It is because of Game King we've got our spirits. It's because of Game King we've got Examon. And it's because of Game King that we have all of these running servers and not one fail. Because of the routine maintenance, because of the routine updates, because of the routine everything. And it's like, they're not giving Game King any slack. And it comes to a point where it's like, they want more. And it's, I don't know. It is very hard to digest what's going on anymore. It's very hard to digest or even think about the idea of change, because some people may want it, some people don't, and it's very hard to compromise on whose side you're on or why things happen the way they do. It just comes down to the point where it's like, okay, so you're targeting a certain audience, and you want to point out the truth, you want to point out the facts, and you want to get things done, you don't want to disappoint anyone. And it's like, I'm in the wrong time era. I should have been born earlier. Or not earlier, later. Yeah, because it comes to a point where it's like, everybody is on edge. Everybody is talking about what's going on with the internet, what's going on with the publicity or the politics or whatnot. I'm like, these are one of the few things I did not want to talk about. And then here we are talking about politics, talking about religion, and talking about everything, God knows what else, because people want to understand where everybody is on their understanding of their beliefs. And it's like, okay, I have a belief. I'm not saying what that belief is. I'm not saying yes. I'm not saying no. I'm not saying I'm right or I'm saying I'm left. It's one of those things. And everybody wants to come into an argument because they want to escalate drama. And that's something I steer clear from. And I tried so hard to do so because it's very difficult to get an aspect or a word out edgewise on what to say or do about these kind of situations. And it gets tough. It really does. It gets bearing to a point where it's like the stress, it really gets to you. You just want to take a break for the longest time and hope that all of this just passes without a thought of looking back. And it's like, you just want to let everything go and let, happiness finally come into your life. And it's like, the only way you can do that is if you let everything that you thought was, amusing or funny or anything interesting like that to you. And it's like, you just got to understand what the other people or other person is thinking. You have to understand what it means to be, you know, a gamer, to be a YouTuber or a Twitch player or anything like that. And it's not because of the money. It's because you want to have fun. And you can't have fun if people are going to keep constantly bringing you drama. And that's when things take a turn for the worst. And it's like, it's very understandable. People were talking crap about PewDiePie. People were, you know, giving crap about, you know, who said this, who said that, and all this and that. And I'm like, can anybody understand the aspect of just having fun without thinking drama is fun or thinking that, you know, picking fights is a fun idea or amusing to a point? I mean, if you wanted to be a Ross O'Donovan, I'm sorry, Ross, but I got to use you as a reference here. If you wanted to be a Ross O'Donovan, okay, just pick a video, find it amusing, and just watch it. If you want to see other people be in misery, just watch a video that already exists. You don't have to go out there so far out of your way just to make one. I mean, that's not healthy for anybody. I mean, if you're somebody like me and you want to just have fun, or you want to see someone like me try to have fun and fail, it's terrible. That's a terrible idea. That is something you don't want to see. All right. Whenever I go out of my mind, I'm so far out of the box that I explode. Okay. Shorter fuse is a shorter fuse. Enough said. But whenever I come on YouTube or on Twitch, I just want to play a game. Even if it's with other people, I want to play a game. Like Warframe or uh, not Shadows of the Colossus. What was it called? Dark Souls 3. In fact, I don't want to play Dark Souls 3 anymore because I run into so many invaders in that game. It's unbelievable. And I've learned that it depends on how many people that you have in your server with you, is how many invaders you can get in that same game. Because you're burning off one, and I mean one ember. And it's lighting off like so many freaking invaders, it's not funny. So if you have like two people with you trying to get through a simple game, impossible. You got two invaders coming after you in the process because it's just that annoying. And then I learned what those banners mean, like the sun with a face on it and other ones. If you have a sun with a face, you're on someone's side. If you're using a purple one, you're a different kind of person. If you're, yeah, if you were invited as a purple specter, you can kill everyone. You can kill uh, the player that sent you, or the player that's, you know, going against the player who owns the server, and everything like that. It's just very frustrating. And I'm like, okay, so I'm not using that anymore. And they were telling me about these sort of stones or soapstones that, no, the red soapstone. If you use the red soapstone, you can actually uh, crash other players' party. And I'm like, yeah, that's the one I want. That's really the one I want. I want some payback, and I want it right now. And it's kind of hard to do because I can't get further into the game because of all of these intruders. And it got to a point where I was on Twitch cussing up a storm because I couldn't get through this one level. And I needed my friends to help me with this, but with the invaders coming in, I can't get anything done. I couldn't beg for them to stay away. I couldn't get them to stop, and there was no way that I was going to find every single item needed to block out every single invader possible. And it's like, Scrata, okay? Scrata was helping me with the wiki page, and he was looking up this idea about how to get the invasions to stop. And he said that there was like certain items behind every single boss. Well, not every single boss, because the first boss didn't have this. But it's behind every single boss. If you find these items and put them together, they will stop the invasions. And we just made it past the archer, and we were trying to get to the castle, I think, and we're trying to get to the boss past the tree guy with the rotted, area, and it was really complicated. I mean, we had to spend at least 2 hours to get him finished, and he gave up straight away. He really gave up. We finished my side like no problem. I mean, we just picked up just like that. As soon as I burn up my ember, I got him in, and I got a random in, and we finished my boss just in time for dinner. But whenever it came to do his side, there was no getting it done, because everybody that we were getting from his side was a lower level and less experienced to play the game. Kind of sad, but it was true. But every time we get invaded, he goes off, I go off, we come to talk about it, we, deleted the game, and all of a sudden, it's like Foul Dragon was the bad guy, because he wanted us to play this so badly. And I'm like, okay, so I'm going to make him a deal. If he will play Final Fantasy with us, I will play Monster Hunter with him next year. Well, with both of them, actually. And he said, that doesn't sound like a bad idea. Maybe he'll go for it. I was like, I'm pretty sure he'll go for it. He's been asking me to play this game since I joined the group. Or since you guys joined my group. He's like, yeah, you're right about that. And I'm like, of course I'm right about that. So now it's like, it's going to be an ongoing fist fight, because I don't know what I'm going to look forward to whenever I get, Monster Hunter. I'm not going to know what I'm going to look forward to whenever I get Final Fantasy 15. But I'm still trying to figure out when Sony is going to put Horizon Zero Dawn on Steam. And yes, it should be on Steam, because they would have won the award for Best Game of the Year if they went as far as to go cross-platforming, and there was no other way of doing that. But, Hellblade won that series, and it's like Horizon Zero Dawn lost to Hellblade, so there's that. And somebody on Facebook actually turned around and told me otherwise, and was like, no, I'm pretty sure Hellblade was a cross-platformer. And someone else turned around and was like, no, Horizon Zero Dawn is not a cross-platform. I was like, we weren't talking about Horizon Zero Dawn. And I never get a sorry. No one apologizes to me. I wonder why. So that happens, and yeah, it's just like a lot of frustration comes out of playing stressful video games. So it's kind of hard for me to actually, be PG about everything. And I'm trying to figure out what kind of games are PG and what kind of games that I can play that are PG and stream without any trouble whatsoever. And I'm getting to a point where it's like, I want to get Dead Space up and out there. And I gotta start out with that in easy mode, because if I play it in normal one more time, I'm going to start grabbing this tablet, and I'm going to slam it on my desk, and I'm like, okay, so let's list off most of the things that I've done wrong. Number 1, lack thereof ammo. Number 2, lack thereof HP. It goes like that. I've been passing nodes upon nodes, and I'm trying to figure out how to even get past chapter 2 without, worrying about what's going to happen with the time that I get whenever it comes to, you know, facing the Immortal. And I don't think I've ever faced the Immortal before. Come to think about it. I mean, Scrata was the only one who actually saw me on live stream to face the Immortal. And he's like, whatever you do, do not turn around. I was like, why? He's like, because that thing will never stop chasing you. And I'm like, what if I slowed him down? He will never stop chasing you. Just keep running. I'm like, then where am I supposed to go? And he's like, go to this room over here. I'm like, oh boy. And it came to a point where the whole game went to a complete stop because all of a sudden I can't get past the Immortal. I can't get past these enemies. And I'm like, I'm out of ammo. I'm down to half health. And I'm trying to figure out what I did wrong. And I can't figure out what kind of upgrades that I need to use those nodes on. And I'm trying so hard to focus. And on top of Dead Space, I have Dead Space 2, and I haven't even started on that yet. But on top of the nodes, I have to worry about getting every single pickup in each chapter, like video logs, text logs, and audio logs. Because without those, the chapter's incomplete, and I'm missing one for chapter 2, and I do not know where it is. I've been looking all over the level for it, and I can't even find it for the sake of me. And I'm about to say forget it and just, you know, keep working over to the chapter 3 and so on and so forth. Because I'm very close to the point where right now I can get the 3rd suit no problem. Racing back towards where I left off isn't going to be such a problem. But it's going to be like I have to focus where I'm going to put my time into this thing. Because being that it is easy mode, being that I can pick up enough ammo just to survive this, being that I can, you know, buy as much HP and nodes as much as possible, that I should be able to survive this no problem. But where I went wrong in normal, I have no idea. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a step back, okay? I'm going to start saving this game like I save in Final Fantasy 13, and then speaking of Final Fantasy 13, I'm going to bring that into light in a minute. And then backtrace to where it's like, are you going to be able to do this? Keep track of everything, find out where everything is, and then list it. And by the time you're done listing it, put it on paper. And it's like, not only do I have to worry about paper, I have to worry about taking pictures of these locations too, because I'm going to be able to forget. And I don't want to forget. So, without a proper map, without a proper guidance, it can't be done. So, I'm going to need a list of a couple of things. Number 1, PG games. Number 2, PG friends. And try to keep in mind that everything has to be PG for the sake of the community. At least until we hit 10 years of this. And then we'll go rated R, whatever. So everything here is said and done. We'll have almost everything up and running in no time. There is, however, one thing I am worried about. I'm mostly concerned of a friend. He hasn't been on for quite a while, and I'm kind of worried. So it's kind of like I haven't seen him since, what was it? Since my stream with Metal Gear Solid 5, The Phantom Pain. And I should be streaming Metal Gear Solid Zero Grounds here in a little bit, but we'll see about that. Yeah, I was like frustrated over the point that Konami has been triggering my algorithm, or not my algorithm, YouTube's algorithm for copyright claims. And I could not settle them for the life of me. So I had to go back, delete all of my old footage, and return with new footage and try to get Konami's name in there as much as possible. Konami and Kojima. Though Konami doesn't like the idea of Kojima's being mentioned ever so often, it has to, because Kojima is the one who produced this game ever since the Metal Gear games on Game Boy, as far as I can remember. And it's come down to Konami being nonsense and putting out Metal Gear Survive, that a game that nobody, and I mean nobody, wants. Metal Gear Solid was and used to be a survival game with all the right reasons. Now it's a survival game for all the wrong reasons. And I can't even, point a finger as to why that is. But at any case, I have to give credit to where credit's due anymore. And if I'm correct about this, that would be 5 to 8 months ago. Almost a year now. And I haven't seen Solix in quite a while. And I'm worried about it. Yeah, I'm seriously worried. I'm worried to a point where, like, I'm having such negative thoughts that something could have happened to him. That something bad could have happened, or, I'm not being told what's going on or anything. And it's like, yeah, okay, so you guys are going to say I'm like a nagging ex-girlfriend or whatever. I'm just worried about my friends, okay? I'm allowed to be. The reason why is because Solix and I have been through a lot, conversating through a lot of things, and I feel like he was one of my most closest friends that I have gotten close to in quite a long time. I would go as far as to say that whenever I had a close friend like that, he kind of ruined our friendship because he was kind of hitting on my ex-girlfriend, and that caused me and my ex-girlfriend to break up, actually. And he was actually engaged to someone, and that engagement broke off because his fiance got word that he was trying to cheat on her with quite a bit of, quite a bit. And it got to a point where it's like frustrating even for me to understand why a friend like that would even call himself a friend, or even call himself a faithful person. But whenever it came down to meeting Solix, it was like, he had my back ever since I first met him, and I'm like, huh, so this is what loyalty feels like. And it's like, I'm not trying to take advantage of anything, I'm not trying to diss anybody, and it's just like, I'm having a rough time with life at the moment, and Solix would be one of those people that would actually understand what I was going through. And I can't exactly talk about anything to anybody else because they're not that close to me. And it's kind of to a point where I have a hard understanding about everybody else than myself, and then just, trusting people. So it's like, I have to pick very wisely who I want on my team. Like, it was because of Solix. Both of us came up with X-Pro Bro Gaming. And I mentioned this to him last year, and I was like, oh no, this was back in 2015. I was like, we have to come up with this a slogan. And he's like, what do you mean? I was like, we need something like what everybody else has, a gaming community. He's like, so what are you thinking? I was like, well, we could come up with a name for our community, like something that would be meaningful to us. And he's like, Okay, so do you have any names? I shot off 3 names until we came up with X Pro Bro Gaming. And he's like, that's good. And I'm like, you think so? We'll use it. So I was like, well, I'm not going to be doing anything X Pro Bro Gaming related until you get back. And it's been 5 to 8 months since he disappeared, and I have no idea what happened to him or if he's ever coming back because, you know, he had a lot of stuff to deal with and he hasn't talked to me about it yet. So I have no idea what's going on. I'm not so sure if he's okay. I'm not so sure if he's injured or anything. I'm just worried. So if Solix is watching this later, please let me know on Steam if you can. And I'll see you later. Other note. I will be streaming a few games in a bit. I just got a few videos to edit, and I'll see you guys shortly. I will try to play Metal Gear Solid Zero Grounds, even though that's a backward step to what I was originally playing. Since, you know, we've already put out The Phantom Pain, which came after Zero Grounds, but we only got The Phantom Pain on my end because Zero Grounds is such a short story. And I didn't want to feel ripped off. And being as it may, the content for that game was so short that it was bound to rip somebody off, or at least a few. But I ain't worried about that right now. I'm just worried about the fact that, you know, I want to get this game out there. I want to get the playlist done. I want to get, you know, things off my table so that I can move on to other projects and see how far it goes. Till then, I'm King Willix. I'm so glad you guys made it this far into the video, or if you've watched my stream. And I'll see you guys again in the next one. Peace out.